Feel Good for Men Who Want Change is a podcast for men who feel left behind or left out and want to grow. We explore healthy masculinity in conversations that don't shame or preach, but talk about how to make positive changes in your own life. In today's episode, we're talking about masculinity, fitness as a mode for change, and how community through the lens of sport can be the thing we need to get back on track. Today's guest traded a career in marketing that was unfulfilling for a community-based gym where he's helping others reach the change that he reached for himself. Bobby Harrison is the founder of Hustle, a boxing, high rocks, and strength training community focused on boosting mental health, building resilience, and supporting young people through movement and mentorship. Leaving his career behind, he's found purpose in helping others achieve their goals through fitness and training. Bobby, nice to meet you.
How you doing, you all right?
Yeah, doing very well. Look, before we dive in, the gym looks great.
Cheers, man.
This one's been here for 5 years, right?
5 years now, yeah.
Yeah. Second site in Wyndham?
Yeah.
Has it changed much in the 5 years or always been like this?
It's massively changed.
Yeah.
So that bit there wouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
It just started off as a boxing gym. There was probably a boxing ring.
Yeah.
Probably like 10 bags, and that was it. And it's every year it's developed. I've added more to it.
Yeah.
I've taken stuff out, I've put my new stuff in there.
Yeah.
It's constantly reinvesting money into the gym to make it better.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, look, it looks great, and hopefully people check it out on YouTube so they can see what we're talking about. And we'll come on to where you've got up to with the gym, but I'd love to just hear a bit about like your background, growing up, early ideas about fitness, masculinity.
Yeah.
Where's it all started?
I grew up in Norwich, where we are.
Yeah.
My earliest fitness was probably football.
Yeah.
My dad pushed me into football from an early age.
Okay.
I was playing for the Cubs when I first started, and then started playing from like 11 years old right through until men's football. Didn't stop really.
Okay.
That was mainly what I was into, football. I didn't really get pushed into anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, mainly my dad. He was the manager of the team.
Yeah.
So it was always getting up with him on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Putting the nets up, or my mates wouldn't turn up because they knew I was going to do it. So it just. Football mad, to be honest.
So no boxing on the cards?
No, I like watching it. I remember watching boxing when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I remember watching Nazim Hamed, Tyson, Lennox Lewis.
Yeah.
But I never thought to myself, I want to do that.
Yeah.
My parents never pushed me into wanting to fight or do any boxing.
Yeah.
It was always football with my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This obviously wasn't your first line of work. You spent a bit of time in marketing career. Tell us about the early days before Hustle was even a thing.
So when I was in London, I used to work for. Started at Virgin Radio.
Yeah.
That turned into Absolute Radio. I was working in like the kind of marketing sales department. I was a PA for a year for the sales director.
Okay.
That ended up going to a company called Vivo, who make music videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
I worked for them for like 5 years. My job ended up in America with them in New York. I was working in New York for a bit. And then that's when I kind of, just before I left for New York, I got into boxing, the training.
Okay.
I was in a bit of a dark place with my life, and someone recommended trying boxing. I just started training in it, and it changed my mindset about where I wanted to go and what I wanted to be. And the buzz I got from boxing was like nothing I've ever felt before.
Interesting.
And I think at that point in my life, I needed something else to kind of keep my focus and put my right mind in the right place.
Yeah, I've heard you say in the past, when you're talking about, boxing and movement and mental health, how much of a difference it made for you.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about where you were then and how boxing helped you out of it.
I was drinking too much, probably taking too many drugs. I played in a band for like 10 years as well in London.
Right.
So we kind of lived that lifestyle of playing in a band, drinking, taking drugs. I was obviously working full time in my job. Like rehearsing twice a week, playing on the weekends, travelling around the country, going to different countries to play. And I think it just took its toll on me, really. And I went through a bit of a bad breakup, and that sent me to like drink and drugs. I was just in a bad place. And I think one day I'd gone out after work. Don't remember getting home, came to work the next day. My boss was like, "You look a complete mess. You've got the same clothes on as yesterday." Just sat me down and was like, "Look, what's going on?" And he kind of chatted to me and kind of said, "Look, you need to sort yourself out, otherwise you're only going to go one way and you're going to get sacked as well." So kind of that little pep talk kind of was the catalyst, I think, for me to make a change. And I joined the gym the next day after that.
Had anyone had that kind of chat with you before?
No one. Like, it was just go out getting drunk, do what you do and get on with it. And suffer the next day, but crack on. But I wasn't talking to anyone about it. I was going to work on the bus crying, my eyes out on the bus on the way to work, on the way home. Another thing, I didn't really like my job I was doing.
Yeah.
So I was stuck in a job I didn't really like.
Yeah.
The music and the drink was probably my escape from it all, and I didn't have that day-to-day passion. Like the music and the drink was like, that was a little bit. But once that finished, it'd be like, oh, I'm back down to where I was again, and go to work and spend days at work just looking at the screen thinking, what am I doing here? And at some points I didn't want to be there, and it was just like, or just generally be anywhere, and it was hard.
How long do you think you were in that place where, not necessarily in that dark place, but where work wasn't doing it for you, and you kind of knew it?
Probably like a good 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like in America, when I was there, I was there on my own, didn't know anyone. Very different atmosphere to London.
Yeah.
The work environment was very, very different, and no one really made an effort to kind of reach out to me or speak to me. And I'd left my partner back home, and that was when I kind of realised that money didn't really make me happy. I was getting paid quite well for that job in America.
Yeah.
But again, day to day, I was going boxing in the morning. I was getting up at 6, going boxing for an hour and a half in the morning, loving it, walking to work and being like, oh, I've got a day of work now.
Yeah.
I just didn't have any passion for it. There was no purpose behind the work I was doing. It was all sales and marketing. It was all like sales marketing for these big corporations, but none of it meant anything to me. Like I'd be getting shouted at by salespeople about, oh, this hasn't gone live. I'm just like, no one's going to die.
Yeah.
Like it's 5 minutes late. What's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah.
And it was a bit soulless, and I just didn't really. I wanted something that meant something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that was always part of you, or was that something that sort of shifted over time?
No, I think so. My dad was always someone that looked after people and looked after me loads, and he's always kind of instilled that in me to like help people. And I think I always wanted to help people, and I noticed from like the help I got from other people when I was training and the people I met, I was just like, yeah, this feels good, and I feel good when I train. I know this. If people are struggling, this will make them feel good.
Yeah.
And that's when like the ideas started coming in about. I was working in a gym in London, and there was a boxing gym, but the guy who ran it wasn't really in it for the right reasons, I don't think.
Right.
He didn't really look after the staff.
Yeah.
Didn't really care about the members. It was all about the money, and didn't treat people very nice.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, that's not how a gym should be.
Yeah.
It's not how an owner of a gym should be.
Yeah.
Like, you should be the face of the company and like look after everyone. And I just saw what he was doing, and I was like, well, I could do this myself.
Yeah.
And you've taught me everything not to do, and how to run a gym. And me and my partner said we want to have a family, and we lived in London. We were like, well, let's move to Norwich, and I'll try and PT in Norwich and start there. And that's what we did. We just kind of moved back. I didn't have a job. We were just about to have a baby.
Yeah.
And then we moved back to Norwich. Yeah.
Perfect storm.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
But just on that sequence there a little bit, like how long were you training in the morning, going into work, and then you ended up working in a gym? Like what was that transition period?
So I was in New York for 6 months.
Yeah.
I was training every morning for like 5 days a week.
Yeah.
I was then sparring on the Saturday. Sunday I'd chill. Yeah. But Sundays would be like, what do I do? I'd no one to chat to, nothing to do. So I'd just walk around New York Sundays. That was 6 months. Moved back to London. Started working in the boxing gym. That's for probably about 2-3 years doing that. Just kind of developing myself as a coach, becoming a PT, developing my marketing. I then met another guy called Conrad. We started a company called Rare Bird London. We used to make motorcycle masks for motorbike riders with pollution filters in them. Yeah. That went really well. So that was like my side hustle. Yeah. Went on Dragon's Den with that.
Oh wow,
yeah,
didn't even know. Okay.
After 6 months, didn't get the money. Ended up being on like the advert for the show. Yeah. But then didn't put us on the series.
Right. Okay.
But that was a really cool thing I was doing. I was like, I love this whole marketing kind of. I was doing all the Instagram, social, making all the content for it. Yeah. Alongside my coaching and my boxing, and I was like, I love the mix of coaching. I love the mix of marketing. Yeah. I was like, I want to do more, bringing that together. And then we moved back to Norwich, left London. Basically walked into a gym the first day I was in Norwich, said, do you need any PTs? Yeah. And not really, so I do boxing. No, I don't have a boxing PT, you can PT in here. Started doing that. And I picked up loads of clients quite quickly because no one was doing boxing. Yeah. And then we kind of developed there, where I started doing classes in their gym in a small corner. started renting a space in that gym.
Yeah.
Called it Hustle, branded it all up.
Yeah.
2 months later, COVID hit.
Yeah.
And then, right, take it all down. And I then pivoted and took it all online.
Yeah.
Made Hustle online and did that for a year.
Yeah.
Did 452 classes in a year and for about 6,500 people.
Online boxing classes?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Like 30-minute kind of boxing hit classes.
Yeah.
Just started doing it one day and I was like, to my mates in London, I'm going to try this idea.
Yeah, yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
So I started doing 2 a day and it just grew out of that. And I was getting like corporate clients booking. I was having like 90 people at a time joining in. I was training people like around the world.
Yeah.
Like mates in London, people on boats that were just like on holiday, were doing it on the boat. And I built this community in Norwich of people because the word got out about it.
Yeah.
And then, that was like a year's worth of training. So every day, twice a day, I would get up on Zoom. Yeah. I'd join in as well. So I'd teach the class, but I'd do it with them. So right, we're going to do 30 seconds of burpees now, and I'd do it. Yeah. I didn't want to just, because some PTs were like standing there and just being like, right, you're going to do some squats now. And they'd be standing watching, whereas I was like, no, if you're doing it, I'm doing it.
Yeah, yeah, great.
And I loved it. And I got so fit doing that. But then it got to a point where I was like, a year later, I'm like, I kind of want to see people in the flesh now. Yeah. And that's when it started kind of like changing. Someone approached me about this place, like, do you want to open up a gym and football arena? I was like, fucking yeah.
Yeah, yeah, amazing.
This is a space you can have. This is what it will cost. And I was like, all right. I'd saved loads of money during COVID. Yeah. And then had the money enough to build this essentially. Yeah. On the day we opened, I had 50 people signed up for a year. Amazing. Off the back of the online stuff. Yeah. And it's just grown ever since then.
The one thing we'll come on to talking about like Hustle and what you've built here and the community aspect of it, because I think that's amazing. But the one thing that's really interesting, and I think particularly for men who might resonate with that part of you that was just in a job that you didn't like, and maybe they didn't get like to the place you got to, but like they know they're not in the right career for them. Yeah. Just how all of this plays out over incremental steps, years at a time. Yeah. It's not like bang, you're opening a gym and doing what you love. Yeah. It's small steps.
Yeah, I think some people don't see that as well. I think now with social media, people just think, oh, he's got that really quick and easy. Yeah. And people don't understand the work that goes into it. A lot of people just think, I'll open my gym and it'll be successful and people will come. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. It's a lot more goes into it than just trying to do that. But I think, with social media now, makes it look like people are doing stuff really quickly, whereas they've probably been doing that for like 5 or 6 years. Yeah. And this is what the result of that is. Yeah. But then, especially younger people just want stuff so quick now, I find, and it's just not the way the world works.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And look, let's talk a bit about like Hustle itself. Obviously, you've got the gym that we're in today. You've got a second one. Yeah. Just the genesis of it, like why boxing? Why this community focus you've got? Why the culture of gym that you've built?
I think, especially with boxing, it's not massively accessible sport for many people. But I saw the benefits of it for me. Yeah. I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to go with like professional. I just wanted to train, and I enjoyed the training. I didn't want to get punched in the face. Yeah. I mean, I used to train to get punched in the face. So I really enjoyed it, but I know most people probably don't want to get punched in the face. Yeah. And I wanted to create a space that was safe, because I've been to loads of boxing gyms, and they're intimidating places to go to. They're not the most welcoming places sometimes to walk into straight away if you're brand new to that. So I wanted to create a space where people walked into were like, oh, it's a boxing gym, but it looks quite cool, and it's got good music on, and it's like people seem friendly and welcoming, and I wanted to create that environment where someone brand new walks in straight away, oh, what's your name? Like, when's your first time? And that's what we've created, I think, with this. It's a safe space to come and train, be yourself. You don't have to be a certain person. There's all walks of life that come into this gym. There's like unfit people, fit people, people in their 60s, people who've never trained before, people who used to be pro boxers, people who just want to train and have fun with it rather than take it too serious. Yeah. And that's what we want to create, I think, with Hustle.
Yeah, because like when you think about boxing gyms, or when I think about boxing gyms, it's like male-dominated, like tough, machoism, but like even just walking in here today, that's not the vibe you get. And when I look at the content you put out and the type of people you try and get here, it doesn't feel like that vibe at all.
No, we've always it's always been good vibes only. That's always been our little strap line of being happy, like looking after each other and just being friendly and community vibes and
Let's talk about the community vibes a little bit, because I mean, you've got these great videos where you go and visit your members. Like one of the guys is a barber and you go and see him cutting hair, and there's another guy's an estate agent. Like, why is that so important to what you're doing here?
I think it just shows people that it's everyday people that come here. It's not a certain type of person. There's no one moulded person that comes here. It's everyday people.
Yeah.
Like, it can be anyone, get any job. It doesn't matter what job you do or how rich, how poor you are. Like, it's just about people and getting everyone accessible to the gym, really. And making it accessible for everybody.
Yeah. Was that something that was intentional from the start, or is it something that's built over time as you've grown and like expanded your network?
I think originally when I started the gym, I was focusing on female-only classes.
Okay.
Because when I was doing my PTs and pad work, a lot of the ladies were like, there's nowhere to go and do a class in Norwich for boxing for women. And I was like, okay, well, and nowhere I feel comfortable to go.
Yeah.
Some gyms I don't feel comfortable going, even just to go into a gym, I don't feel comfortable going to a gym. And I wanted to create that space where people can walk in and feel comfortable. And it started with just ladies' classes.
Yeah.
And then it developed into mixed classes. We still do some ladies' classes, not as many as we used to, because I don't think as many of them are that bothered by it anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to create a space where people will come and have a good time and enjoy it and learn something. Like with boxing as well, you'll never stop learning.
Yeah.
Like, you'll be training in the gym, there might be a pro boxer in there next to someone who's never punched a bag before, and they'll help them.
Yeah.
They don't care that they're brand new to it, they'll help them, and that's the kind of place it is.
Yeah.
You'll see members like in a class, someone's doing something, you'll look round and they're like, oh no, just stand like this and just turn your hips more, and you're like, that's so cool. They've learned that from us, now they're teaching it to someone else, because they know that was me when I first came. So there's no it doesn't matter your level you are, there's no judgment with people here. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because like this concept of, women's only classes, women's only spaces, like obviously it's great and there's a lot of merit in that, but actually if you've created an environment where there isn't a need for it, or women don't feel like there's a need for it, that just goes to show the strength of culture you've built and community you've built here.
Yeah, the community we've got is it's just unbelievable. There's so many nice people, and we do socials together, and we do winter summer games where both gyms come together. They'll get put into teams, like teams of 10, and they'll go against each other in competition. But it's friendly competition. It's like they're having a laugh with it.
Yeah.
They're taking the piss out of each other. They want to win.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
They want to win, but it's like a range of people working together. Some people are like, I don't want to do the game, so I'm not good enough. I'm like, you are good enough.
Yeah.
And they feel like they can let people down, but it's everyone's around watching, do it, but shouting, cheering them on, and clapping when they're finished. And it's like, you just don't get that in commercial gyms. You don't get that in certain places at all.
Yeah. And particularly for men, where we're talking about this loneliness epidemic and feeling like a lack of purpose, like fitness and a gym community could be a great avenue for that.
100%. Like we've got guys that have got divorced. They're struggling with stuff, and they're like, don't know anyone. Like, they come down here, and it's just changed their lives. They meet new people, they make new friends.
Yeah.
They meet new partners, and it's like, that's the cool thing about this space, is people that have become partners, people get married, and people become friends outside the gym. And because some people might come on their own and they're not on the same level as their other friends anymore.
Yeah.
And they're not going out drinking anymore. They're not doing the silly things. They want to be healthy and fit. They meet these new people, and all these new friendships start. You see these friendship groups start, and it's amazing. They're all out together, on nights out, and it's amazing.
Their identities changed a bit, which makes me think a bit about sort of bringing it back to you a little bit, and maybe what you see with your members too.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you were having to, I guess, shared an old identity? Like obviously work and how you make a living is obvious, but then I guess around how you spend your free time, drinking, partying.
I've got 2 kids, so it's like I don't go out that much anymore.
Same.
So I don't drink anymore.
Yeah.
I stopped drinking last Christmas. It's been a game changer. I try and eat healthy now, and I train a lot. I do competitions. I do high rocks a lot, and I try and be the best I can be to show them guys I can still do it. I'm 43. There's no reason why you guys can't still do it. I've got 2 kids. I'm running 3 businesses.
Yeah.
I can still train. I can still be fit. I want to be fit than all of them.
Yeah.
I want to be faster than all of them.
Yeah.
When they can be faster than me, I'm not working hard enough.
Yeah.
So I've got to be the fittest.
Yeah.
For me, sometimes I think in my head, I've got to be the fittest here.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one at the top, leading people. So I want to set a good example.
How's that going?
Good, I think.
Yeah.
Until I get injured.
Yeah. Were you at a high rocks competition this weekend?
Yeah, I did one this weekend. Yeah.
How'd it go?
It's good. Yeah, we've got 102 in the pairs.
Yeah.
Gonna try for sub 60 next. So.
There you go. There you go. 43, 2 kids.
That's what I say to people. I want to be training when I'm 60. I want to be training my boys. I want to be beating them when they're 16, 18. I want to still be training next to them and running with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it sort of is a nice segue into one of the things I wanted to talk about, which is the importance of like role models.
Yeah.
Particularly there's a lot of talk around that for young men,
Yeah.
boys. How do you think about that? Do you think about that in terms of your role and how you introduce people to fitness?
I do, yeah. Like, I'm part of a group called the Running Hunks. Mm-hmm. It's a funny name.
Yeah.
But we meet every Saturday morning. We go for a 5K run. We dip in the water afterwards.
Yeah.
They meet during the week. I ain't got time in the week to do more runs than I do now, but that's a really nice group because there's such a variety of different age groups of men. There's guys that are like late 40s, there's guys that are 18.
Yeah.
And the 18-year-olds like will chat to me about stuff and I'm just like, I never had this when I was 18. I wouldn't be chatting to like a 43-year-old man about my feelings and work and life. I never had that.
Yeah.
So for those younger guys to have that, I think is amazing. And there's a couple of coaches who are quite young that come to the gym that have gone through struggles that I've kind of been there to chat to them about it, which they probably wouldn't go and speak to their parents about. So that feels good for me to be able to do that and share what my experiences I've had. And yeah, just being able to share, if someone's struggling with stuff, especially my coaches, there's normally something I've been through that I can be like, I can relate to this and this is what I did to help it, and it seems to work quite well.
Tell us a bit about, I guess, the wider work you've done with schools and the other community ventures.
Yeah.
I've seen the Feel Good Foundation with the Feel Good ice cream.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
So that's my friend John. He runs an ice cream company called Feel Good Ice Cream. He does a lot of, so that's all about raising money for charity, that company. So he's got a job, but he does that on the side. Yeah. So he does like challenges. I think he rode across Europe maybe on his bike, and he's got more challenges coming up, raising money for that. Yeah. We partnered together. So the money we raise for anything we do goes towards paying for kids who can't afford to come to the gym, Great. For example. Yeah. So there's a school across the road, Open Academy. It's a bit more on the deprived side for the schools, and they don't have much money budget for activities. And we put on sessions for those guys when we've got money in the pot. And yeah, we just want to do more fundraising ideas to then help more people come to the gym. Yeah. Like we go into schools, we do like 6-week programs in schools where we're like, right, give us your naughty kids. Yeah. Give us the kids that are causing problems. Right. So they send them to us. They're with us for like 6 weeks. They go back to the class, the teacher's like a different kid. Yeah. Because they're doing something that actually, they might not know they like it yet. Yeah. But once they start it, they're like, he was just throwing chairs around the table, and now he's sat down listening. What's happening in that 6 weeks? I think the coaches who are coaching them are teaching them about discipline and respect, and if you don't have to be good at school. We're saying to them, you don't have to be good at that. You can be good at something else, like sport, like this. Like I think every kid's expect I've got to be good at school, otherwise I'm not going to make it, whereas you don't have to be. I was crap at school, I didn't get any good grades. I just plodded along and just did it, and yeah, I don't think, a lot of kids now just think, I've got to be really good at school, but there's so much more to just academic, and I think they came to that and they said the kids were just different and just loved it, and they getting out of that school environment and that class environment to then doing something they enjoyed, and then it was like, well, if you go back and be naughty, you can't come back and do this. Yeah. So then they would be like, oh, I want to come and do this, so I'm going to behave. Yeah. And that worked quite well. Do you see the same kids coming back to you then? Yeah. 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 We do like a youth class twice a week. Yeah. And same kids just come back every week. Yeah. And I really enjoy it. We had randomly one Saturday, I don't know where I was with my boy in the car. My Ring camera starts pinging at 4:30. I'm like, why's that going off? Look at it, stop my car. I was like, there's 4 kids in the gym. I'm like, call up the guys, is there a party going on? They're like, no. I'm like, there's 4 kids in the gym. I'm like, what are they doing? I'm like, I don't know, they shouldn't be in there. And like, they'd broken in through the windows, through the back windows. They'd broken in, we're just running around the building, looking around and like, oh, it's a gym. They didn't know what it was. Right. And I had them on a Ring camera. Then they all saw the camera and were like, oh, we're fucked. Yeah. And then they left. Yeah. So like, I had like pictures of them all. Sent it to my coaching group. Someone was like, that kid goes to Sproston High School. Yeah. So had all 4 of them really quick. Yeah. Found the next week in school, police got involved because they took a couple of little things. They weren't like major things, but they took things they shouldn't have taken. So we had to speak to the police about it. And I said to the policeman, look, I don't want any charges. Tell you what, bring them down the gym for a session. Yeah. See what they think of it. And we'll go from there. Like, I don't want them, they're just kids, they didn't steal anything, like, they didn't take any, the iPads were all, they didn't take any iPads. And like, they were not bad kids, they just probably didn't realise it was a building, and apparently they just thought it was derelict.
Yeah.
From the side, it probably does look derelict.
Yeah.
And I said to the policeman, like, right, get them down the gym, let's get them a session in, see what they think of it, and we'll go from there. And they came down, they loved it.
Yeah.
I was like, now they're coming to the gym.
Yeah.
It's like so much better than getting them told off by the police and all that stuff happening. It was just like lesson learned, and now they've got something that's positive for them.
I mean, speak about role models and great lessons to learn. Like, what an amazing lesson for those 4 kids, right? Like, an acknowledgement that you've done something you shouldn't have done, but actually greeted with a different path, right? Not punishment.
Yeah. So I think many people have just been, I want them arrested, I want them charges brought against them, but it's just like, I never jump to conclusions with anything like that. And,
It makes me think of the mini documentary that got made with the British Film Institute, and you have this young girl, Ashanti.
That was amazing.
And she says, it's fun, boxing, because it gets all the anger from your siblings out. And she says, boxing is to get your anger out. And then she puts on a pair of roller skates, and she's like, skating just because I like skating.
Yeah. No, that was amazing. That was great when they were down here doing that. And there was just young kids filming it as well. That was cool, really cool.
Yeah, but it was interesting for me. Even I think like my son's 9 and my daughter's 7, and like there is a bit of anger between siblings.
Yeah, definitely.
And I just think those young lads probably bored, probably a bit angry.
Yeah.
Having a healthy outlet for this stuff is a massive change for them.
Yeah, they were clearly like bored of to be walking around this estate. There's nothing around here.
Yeah.
Why are they walking around here anyway? Like there's bored probably, nothing to do, and like there's now there's an amateur boxing gym just opened up around the corner for the Heartsease estate, which is quite like underprivileged. That people can't afford to come here, but that's now opened up, and that's perfect for the community. Like an amateur boxing gym. Yeah, that'll do great around there.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because like there's all this talk of like what's going on with young men and boys, and in some ways we sort of know some obvious answers, right? It's like access to public facilities, there's no community centres anymore. Like, lads just need stuff to do.
Yeah, we had youth clubs when I was a kid. There's loads of stuff to do. Like, we'd be running around playing football, but I think, again, now you've got kids on computer games and stuck to the internet and their phones, and it's very different to when we were kids. We didn't have any of that, did we?
No, 100%. How do you, speaking of kids, and I'm sort of asking selfishly because it's something I'm struggling with with my own, but like, how are you balancing, I guess, the accountability and discipline that comes with sport with, I guess, sort of compassion and understanding the struggles they have when you're working with young people?
It's hard because I've tried to bring my 5-year-old into the gym. He comes in the gym and watches and looks what's going on, which is amazing. And my 20-month-old will come in and just walk around and just want to play. They want to play in the gym, but I've tried to get him boxing. Just won't have it. He just wants to play. Like, he'll pretend to be a gorilla with the gloves on. I think I need to kind of get one of the younger coaches just to be like, right, Matt is going to coach you today. So they can kind of do it.
Doesn't want to hear it from his dad.
No, not at all. But I think getting the kids in, like, from a young age, they come in from 6 years old. And just watching them, like, they love it. Like, even if it's not like, they're not fighting, they're not learning to box as such, they're just kind of boxing basics with some fun games and keeps them active. And then when they get a bit older, I see our youth stuff, like the juniors and the youth, as a stepping stone for them to come here, learn the basics. If they want to take it further, then go to the amateur gyms. Because some of those kids would probably be like, no way am I going into that gym. Like, whereas here, they can learn the basics first. And then when they feel comfortable, if they're like, I want to go and I want to compete now, I feel like I can, they can walk into that gym knowing how to stand, knowing how to throw a punch and not be intimidated by it.
Or presumably, it would be equally as satisfying for you if they just left with a love of fitness, a love of movement.
100%, 100%. Because if kids are moving more and they find a passion for that, that's going to help them in the future. That's going to instill with them. Like, we do like a girls-only class for 12 to 16-year-old girls. If those girls by the time they're 16 are confident enough to walk into a pure gym by themselves, for example, and train on their own, job done for me. Like, that's amazing. Not many girls that age would have the confidence to walk into a pure gym and be like, right, I know what I'm doing here. I'm going to hit a bag. Imagine, like, they're learning from us all this stuff to then be confident enough to go and do that. That's exactly why we do it.
That's brilliant. I mean, I converted my garage into a little gym. And even my wife, she was like, she'll work out in there, but she would never go to a pure gym just because of, she's grown up through the age of like, it's not what women do, that's not her place, she doesn't feel comfortable, to what we said earlier, which is a shame. I guess, look, just sort of thinking about like rounding this up and thinking about who might be listening, I guess I'm imagining there's bound to be some men who are in that place where they perhaps know that their job's not doing it for them.
Yeah.
Perhaps they're not in a super dark place, but they know they're not right. Like, given the journey you've been on and the people you work with, like, what is some advice or a message you'd want that man to hear?
I'd say look at your local areas, and if there's any men's groups, there seems to be so many now popping up.
Yeah.
Of men's groups doing stuff like running groups, cold water dip groups, like fitness groups of men just doing stuff together.
Yeah.
That doesn't involve going out getting pissed and drinking. Like the running hunks again, we went to Oslo as a group.
Oh, wow.
3 days.
Yeah.
We did 5K park run. We did a high rocks class. We went out one night. Yeah. I didn't drink, but we were out for 13 hours. I didn't drink one drink. I had one of the best nights ever.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And just being around those kind of positive people that aren't there to go and get absolutely hammered and smashed and do stupid shit was just amazing. And they're all positive role models to me. Like some of them have got businesses, some of them are young, and that's like a really nice group to be part of.
Yeah.
And if something's wrong with you, like if you've got an issue going on in your life, put it in that group, someone will have an answer for you.
Yeah.
I know so-and-so, this is what I did when I went through that. And there's no like, I'm not going to say that because someone's going to think I'm weird. Anyone will say anything in that group. You're going for a run, you'll just a bit of a shit week this week, what happened? I remember when I did this, and it's like, I never ever had that. Yeah. As an 18-year-old or even in my 20s or 30s. Yeah. Like my mates would just be like, I get pissed. Yeah. Like don't talk about your feelings. And never had any of that. Yeah. So yeah, I'd say like try and find the right people. There'll be support out there if you need support. And if you're really struggling with stuff and you're not doing any fitness, start running. Yeah. Running's the one thing that doesn't cost you anything. Yeah. You can do it anywhere. You can start by just doing 1 kilometre run. Yeah. Or 1 kilometre run, walk for a kilometre, run a kilometre, walk a kilometre. Yeah. And you'll just gradually build up. Yeah. And if in your head you're struggling with some stuff, you go for a run, that'll be gone. Yeah. If I struggle with stuff like day to day, I know if I go and work out, I ain't going to feel like that afterwards. Yeah. If I go and do like a big high rock session or a big boxing session, my body's going to be like, I feel good now. And
thanks for that.
What I was worrying about.
Yeah. No, you're so right. I mean, there's a lot of challenges and there's a lot of complex solutions out there, but sometimes it is just a thing that's in front of your face. Yeah. Just like, just get out, get moving. You're going to feel better for it.
Yeah, movement's the one thing I say will change your life. Movement.
Yeah. Is there a book or something you've read recently that shaped your view on masculinity, or you think every good man should be picking up and reading?
I'm not a massive book reader. I tend to more read business books. Yeah. But I'd recommend one. I was called Be More Pirate.
Oh yeah, Sam Collins.
So it's a bit more thinking outside the box with what you do and how you do it, and marketing and stuff like that. But I'm not a massive book reader, but I'm more business books for me. Yeah. They're the ones that make me think more. Yeah. Give me ideas, and but that one for me was like, think outside the box. Everything I do, I'm like, I'm not going to do it like you've done it. I'll do it like I want to do it, but I do it different. Yeah. Make it stand out. Yeah. No, that's a good one. And I guess if you could change one mindset that men are carrying around with them, or the men you see are carrying around with them, what would it be? I'd say be open. Speak to people. Don't hold stuff in, because that's the worst thing you can do. If you just have it in your head and you don't speak to someone about it, it'll only get worse. Like, if you tell someone, if they're your friend, they're going to understand, they want to help. They're not going to shame you or anything like that. Like, a good friend would help you out. So don't ever feel like you can't speak to people. Yeah.
Nice. So look, I'm mindful that you've got to pick up the kids. Yeah. Dad's work never stops. Yeah. Where can people find out more about you, find out more about Hustle? What's the future plans?
So Hustle is just dohustle.com is the website. We've got 2 Instagrams, hustle_Norwich, hustle_Wyndham. Yeah. And my Instagram's just Bobby Harrison. Future plans, just keep going, keep building, People can say, do you want to open another gym? I'm just like, we'll see. Yeah. It's not on my radar anytime soon. Yeah. I just want these gyms to be the best they can be. And a lot of people worry about what everyone else is doing, competition-wise, other gyms. Yeah. I don't look at other gyms. I don't watch what they do. I'll support those other gyms, so I like the guys that run them. Yeah. But I don't spend all day watching what they're doing, because that's not going to help me with what I do.
Yeah.
I just focus on the people that walk through our doors, making sure they're happy, making sure the classes are good, and making sure they come back. And that's all I need to worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty good place to be.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Nice
All
one.
right, Bobby, well, look, it was an absolute pleasure. Thanks for having us today, and I'll come back again soon when I'm not injured and can do a session.
Cheers, mate.
All right.
Wicked.
Cheers, Bobby.
Enjoyed
Thank
that.
you.
Nice one.
Today's episode was a great one. I'm sure you could tell that Bobby's passion for boxing and what he's building here at Hustle is infectious. And I think for anyone who's struggling with finding purpose in their own lives, there's something to take from the sort of messy, painful journey that played out over a few years to get to this point. And there isn't a finger click moment to get us out of the rut. And so this message that keeps coming through of just starting, just finding a way to make changes in your own lives is something I hope everyone can take something from. If you got something from today's episode, as always, please do me a favor, like and subscribe and share it with someone who might need to hear it. That's how this is going to grow, man by man, episode by episode, all of us doing our part to reclaim masculinity and show up right in the world. Head over to thefeelgoodfolk.com to learn more about coaching, community, and the content that we're sharing. And in the show notes, you'll be able to find links to Bobby's work. Thanks again for listening. Work hard, be kind, and I'll catch you at the next one.